The silent screams of the abandoned asylum. Once upon a time, nestled deep within the woods of Ravensbrook, stood an old asylum known as Hollow Creek Sanitarium. It had been closed for decades, its crumbling walls and shattered windows telling tales of a dark past filled with sorrow and despair. Locals whispered of the haunted grounds, where the echoes of tortured souls lingered, and many dared not venture near. One stormy evening, a group of 5 friends, Emily, Jake, Sarah, Tom, and Lily, decided to explore the asylum, fueled by curiosity and the thrill of adventure. Equipped with flashlights and a camera, they made their way through the overgrown path that led to the entrance. The air was heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the sound of thunder rumbling in the distance. As they stepped inside, the air turned cold, and a sense of dread washed over them. The once grand lobby was now a decaying shell, with peeling paint and broken furniture scattered about. Dark stains marred the floor, remnants of the past that the walls seemed to hold secret. "Let's split up and meet back here in an hour," Jake suggested, eager to explore the asylum's eerie corridors. Reluctantly, the group agreed, each taking a different path into the shadows. Emily and Tom ventured into the east wing, where the patients had once been confined. They stumbled upon a room filled with rusty bed frames and tattered curtains. As they inspected the space, a sudden chill swept through the room, making them shiver. "Did you feel that?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "Yeah, it's freezing in here," Tom replied, trying to laugh off the unease. But just then, they heard a faint whisper, almost like a cry for help, echoing from the hallway. They exchanged worried glances and decided to investigate. Meanwhile, Jake, Sarah, and Lily explored the west wing, where the treatment rooms were located. The atmosphere was thick with despair, and the walls seemed to close in on them. As they entered one room, Sarah spotted a dusty mirror. "Look at this," she exclaimed, brushing off the dust. As her reflection appeared, she noticed a dark figure standing behind her. She turned quickly, but there was nothing there. Heart racing, she whispered, "Did you guys see that?" Lily, trying to lighten the mood, joked, "You're just seeing things. It's an old building, it plays tricks on your mind." But deep down, they all felt a growing sense of unease. Back in the east wing, Emily and Tom followed the whispers, which grew louder as they approached a door at the end of the hall. It was slightly ajar, and a cold breeze seeped through the crack. They pushed it open, revealing a dark room filled with old medical equipment and a single, flickering light bulb swinging from the ceiling. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, plunging them into darkness. Panicking, they fumbled for their flashlights, but when they finally turned them on, they were met with a chilling sight. A ghostly figure of a nurse, her face twisted in anguish, stood before them. "Help me, please," she pleaded, her voice echoing in the confines of the room. Terrified, Emily and Tom backed away, but the nurse reached out, her hand passing through the air like a wisp of smoke. "You must free us," she cried, her voice filled with sorrow. "The screams of the lost cannot be silenced until justice is served." Meanwhile, Jake, Sarah, and Lily heard the commotion and rushed toward the east wing, their hearts pounding. When they entered the room, they saw the apparition and gasped in horror. "What is happening?" Jake shouted, trying to make sense of the scene. "We need to help her." Tom yelled, desperation in his voice. "She's trapped." The friends quickly huddled together, forming a plan. They learned from the ghostly nurse that the asylum had a dark history of mistreatment and abuse. The spirits of the patients lingered, bound to the place where they suffered.